gals and guys, it's RC Tech Pro Flying, letting you know my thoughts on this. This is the Speedybee 25 2.5 inch cine drone. It flies great, smooth. This is definitely a well-designed cine drone. It's got an amazing LED display system, which is amazing. It's just cool looking. I do have the O3 air unit installed now. Before I didn't, and I did one of my flight tests on it just without the VTX on it. I did install it. It works really great. And of course, I definitely had to add the Vifly beeper system in here so this way I can find it, or even if the battery gets ejected from the drone, at least this has a battery backup on it, so at least it starts beeping and I can find it. One of the other things that I did do on this one, they had the rack system here for your battery, which they had it set up vertically, and now I put it horizontally. And the reason for that is because you're really limited to battery size. So you can see here where you have the XT30, that it has its limitations for battery width. So if you increase the milliamp on the battery, it will affect the size of the battery itself. So this is basically how it hooks up. And one of the things you have to be aware of is the length of the power cable, because if it's too short, you might have a problem reaching. Like if I were to mount it this way, I'm gonna have a hard time doing it. So you gotta mount it this way to be able to have it to fit on here to power it up. So we can just, there you go. So this is this is set up so at least you have this thing on the balance plug. I usually just twist it like that, and that's how I keep it away from the props, and it's pretty simple. This one's easily, I did wire it up to the board on the bottom. I removed the bottom plate here, and there is a place for the beeper set up, and I'll put a diagram on how I wired that up. To this, and it was very easily where they have the ports here, where actually the holes where the motor wires go through, that's where I ran it and just connected it right to the board, soldered. I didn't have to take the board out of the frame. I left it and soldered it in place. It's easy, accessible, easy. You just got to use one of those solder pins type soldering iron to be able to put it in. This does have the GPS in there, the BN 180, which set up on BetaFlight for rescue. I did test it, it works really well. And the antenna, I did notice on the O3 unit with the stocked antenna, the range difference, believe it or not, between the single antenna that's tied into two connectors on the O3 unit, the range is actually better in this form on the dipole setup. It works better, believe it or not. It does work better when it's split like this. And I did determine that when I took a flight outside, where typically I would get more degraded signal loss, or either problems with transmission, and I noticed that it was much more improved. So flight time, that's the part that I didn't like too well. I'm getting on this battery here, I'm actually getting about 3.5 to 4.5 minutes about flight time using this 850 milliamp at 80C. And I decided to kind of experiment with the 1500, and this is a 4S, but this is a bit heavy, and yeah, it did work, but the problem was that the weight difference with the flight time was basically just the same as having this one. So I just wanted to try it. I did have to, because this has the XT60 on here, so what I did was I made basically a conversion to it, so you can convert it to the XT30 to fit on here. It does fit. Now you notice if the battery size was but this basically milliamp, this is 1500, you can see that it will not fit if it was set up in this form this way. So I changed it, and I tried it this way. The reason why I turn it this way is because I wanted to test this one. This one's tight. It will fit in there, and you can see it does fit, and I was able to plug it in, but it did add a lot more weight to it, and it doesn't make any sense using that. So I'm thinking of trying 1100 with this and see what the flight time is with that. The noise factor, that part is, these cine whips are typically a lot more noisier than your 5, 6, or 7 inch prop quads. This one is a lot noisier than I expected because of the 3-bladed on here, and it seemed a lot noisier than I expected. So I tested out. As far as the pros and cons, it flies well. It does very good on maneuvering and slow flights, so that you can get good cinematic video on this. As far as if you're going to do any acro on this, it does very well. I wasn't planning to do any acro with this. Basically, I wanted to do it for cinematic video with this, especially using the O3 on here. As far as the Express LRS that's installed, that's what we got in here, Express LRS. The signal was great. Installing the O3 unit on here was a little challenging because you have to cross the antenna cables that are on here. Attached to these antennas, you got to cross them, because if not, they won't fit in here properly, and then you'll kind of smush and possibly break the connectors on it. So played around with it, we got it installed in here. But I do like this concept of being able to take off these 4 screws, pull off the air unit, and if Speedybee comes up with an idea with another way of utilizing this setup with another drone, it'd be great. Other than that, I do like it. The light scheme on here with the LEDs are amazing. You can do all kinds of different patterns with this. If you can set it up, as far as the O3 at night flying, it's not the greatest. They don't got the best quality for night flying, nighttime. But if you have plenty of light, this would be kind of nice if you have someone following you, tracing you with the light, because it's lit up very well. Anyways, that's my thought on this. As far as it, I think I'm gonna basically say that this is a nice drone. Noisy wise would be my cons on it, would be the noise factor, the flight time, and the space as far as the TX connector on the back of this. This probably should have been put maybe in the back, or should have been put in the front, or an area where it doesn't interfere with the size of the battery. As far as this way, it works fine. I left it that way. I'm going to leave it that way, so that this way it works fine. I do have the Vifly beeper on here set up in a way that I have it on my transmitter. So let's say if the battery gets ejected, obviously it's going to beep, but if the battery's still on there and it's out in the woods somewhere or in a tree, I can hit a switch and I can have it beep loud enough so that I can find it. Other than that, video-wise, I'm going to show you some videos on my flight. Very smooth, nothing special, just to see the stabilization of this quad setup. I do have the BetaFlight 4.5.1, I believe it is, and with that flight firmware, it flies super duper. So anyways, that's my thought on this. Anyways, if you have any questions, put the comments below. Hope this video might be a help to you. God bless and take care. See you on the next one.